Hey guys, how's it going? I think it's about time for another update on the Ruckus Trike project. What I went ahead and did is last time in the update I had the swing arm, showed you guys how it worked. It was welded up, put a couple braces in there. Now I've got the motor mounts welded to it. I'll show you how those look. I'm going to have to go buy some longer bolts to go from the mount that's on the engine to the motor mounts on the swing arm. Later on in the video I think I come back to that. But what I'm going to do first is show you a picture of what a Honda Ruckus looks like from the factory, how I bought it, and I think I bought it in 2010. It was a 2009 model, bought it brand new. Put about 3,000 miles on it, just cruising around. They are a 50cc water-cooled engine from the factory. That was great fun. I drove it. I actually worked right down the street from my house, so I would just drive it most of the time if the weather permitting. Drove it for a while. Wasn't quite enough. I got on some forums. There's a forum called TotalRuckus.com, and people do crazy stuff with them all the time. So that's what kind of gave me the idea to start modifying it. I think I ended up doing a Variator Kit, which is part of the transmission. It's a little steeper pitch, so it allows the belt and the CVT transmission to ramp up faster or hold. They don't change gears, but it'll hold the position that it's in at a lower ratio a little bit longer, so you had a little bit better acceleration, kind of keep it in the power band a little better. Had that done, went ahead and did a CDI, which allows the RPMs to the rev limiter to be lifted. I think I got one that was 10,500 RPM, which is right about where valve float is for the stock 50cc motor on the Ruckus. That wasn't quite enough, so I went ahead and opted to buy a 150cc engine. I bought it off of a wrecked. I bought a complete scooter that had been wrecked. It was a Chinese make, but it has a GY6 is the code of the engine. And they're bulletproof little motors. People rev them to 14 grand. They thrash them all day long. The only thing is they're air cooled, so you got to be kind of careful with your temperatures if you're out riding in the heat and whatnot. But anyway, swapped the 150 on it. I'll show you a picture of it. It extended. It's a longer frame on the actual engine, so it extended it back 7 inches from the factory Ruckus wheel position, which looks pretty neat. Looks like an extended swing arm motorcycle. Increased the wheel size to 13 inches. They're aluminum wheels from the factory 10-inch steel wheels. So I put 13-inch aluminum wheels. Disc brake on the front. Factory comes drum brakes front and rear. So swapped a disc brake on the front. It was kind of cool. I modified the exhaust on it, and it would go about 70 miles an hour, which is way fast on a scooter. Fuel economy dropped considerably, maybe just because of the size of the engine and the RPMs it was pulling and everything else. But got bored with that. Ended up breaking a stud off in the head for the exhaust manifold. Went to easy out it out. Easy out broke inside the head. Was gonna just do a big bore kit, which is you can go from 150 cc's to 180 cc's. Opted out of that. Sat in the garage for, I'd say, about a year, just collecting dust. Saw it. Was sick of just watching it go to waste. It was a fun project when I was working on it. Why not bring it back? That's why I started the trike project. Got a couple parts together, cheap, some free. So I went ahead and started doing it. So I'll show you a picture. Stock Ruckus, 150 Ruckus, and then we'll go to the update. Okay, here's the swing arm, and these are the two plates that I've welded on here. I know they look kind of cocked, but they actually have a lip, one on each side, and that kind of cradles the motor. And to set the motor on there, I had to cock them a little to the side, but it'll be fine. It still gives me plenty of room for the mounting holes to drill to hold the engine. Here's the scooter. The shock that I had to weld on there when it was a 150cc scooter was right here. I just cut it off. Here's the shock. I'll be reusing it, and this is the mount and where I had to grind it off. I'll weld it with this new swing arm. The shock mount's actually in the middle, so I'll be welding it to the middle here to catch this new swing arm. I think it'll actually look pretty cool. You know, this white shock coming down in the middle. I'll come back with an update when I have the motor set on there and getting ready to drill some holes. Here's the engine sitting on the engine mounts. I went ahead and got this shock bolt mounted up so that when I slide it underneath the frame of the Ruckus, I'll be able to go ahead and line up this top mount and tack it, so we'll have it started. I set this chain on the back sprocket and went ahead and set it on. This is the drive clutch to line it up. I just do it by eye. If you're a little scared and don't think you can do it by eye, you know, you can pull a string or something, and that'll give you a little better line up. So now it's time to mark the holes on the bottom of the engine to the motor mount so I can drill the holes. Hey guys, well, I got some good news and I got some bad news. The bad news is the drill bit that I have to drill the holes for the motor mount, after I got them marked out, knew where to drill them, the drill bit I have is smoked, so I'm going to have to go pick one of those up tomorrow. But no big deal. I was able to slide the swing axle in there, and with the new shock location, I went ahead and ground down some spots so I can weld that into place. I'll show you welding it, and then I'll show you sitting on the frame, kind of jumping up and down a couple times and showing you how the suspension works. Okay guys, so I got the swing arm bolted on there right now. I set the engine in there just to kind of give you guys a visual of how the finished product is going to look. Just keep in mind that there is a floor pan that goes on here, comes up over, so all that's going to be covered. There's a battery box that comes on over here. So all those wires will be tucked away. It'll look a lot cleaner, but just for now, this will kind of give you a visual of what I'm going for. I went ahead and tacked the taillight back on there. I'd broken it off when I was pulling the motor, the 150cc motor. But here you go. It's kind of a straight down shot. I think it looks pretty mean. Here we go. I got the shock mounted in there in the center, so I think that'll look pretty cool from the back. It clears the engine just barely. And there's the engine sitting in there. I'll set this up and show you guys a little suspension test. I tested it out earlier. It worked really good. So I can even stand on it. So it works pretty good. Right now I have some clearance issue with this is the factory air box for this motor. It's a Predator 212cc engine from Harbor Freight. Now this is a Honda clone engine. But this specific Honda clone engine has just a little bit bigger bore and actually a little bit longer stroke. They have better quality parts than some of the other knockoff clone motors. That's the clone of the GX200, I believe, is the Honda engine. This engine, I said it in some previous videos, this is not the actual engine I'm going to be using. I have one exactly like it that already has upgraded valve springs, upgraded cam, intake, which actually is goes straight to the carburetor and comes off. It's a pretty good sized cone. I think it's a 2.5-inch cone filter. It's been rejetted, the pilot jet and the main jet. It also has an exhaust, which will bring it out right here next to the shock. So that ought to look pretty neat. You can see the clutch assembly in here. Got plenty of room, straight shot to the rear sprocket. So, well guys, that's it for today. I'll come back when I get a new drill bit and some bolts to mount the motor mount in there, or to mount the engine to the mounts. And I'll be sure to post the video as soon as I get it. Thank you.